Wow. Alright, so a few videos ago I did a trap soul beat from scratch, and a lot of you guys in the comments wanted me to do a sampled version of making a trap soul beat. So today we're going to take a sample, make a whole trap soul beat. And real quick before we start, I did mention in the community tab that I'm working on a free one-shot kit of guitars. I took the Epiphone guitar that I have, recorded a bunch of one-shots and been processing them, so I'll be dropping a free guitar one-shot for you guys pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that probably in the next video. Alright, so after a little bit of digging, this was a sample I found that I want to use. Samples in, nicely on beat. Let's link it to the mixer track. Do a little bit of EQ and reverb on it. So I'll probably cut out some lows and highs. Then bring a reverb in and kind of tuck it back. Then adjust the EQ a little bit more. Probably take out some mid-range. Sounds good. It's nice and dark now, kind of tucked in the back. I like how this sounds. The drums are gonna pop through this. Alright, so for the bass, I have this pluck and a sine bass, but I just kind of want to find what notes that I'm gonna want to play for the pluck and the sine as well, so I'm gonna mess around with this. Alright, so let's put in a snare, and we're going to need to loop this as well. Enable that, and then get a two-step hi-hat in. Now we have a nice little groove going. Turn it down a little bit. And let's get some rolls going for this hi-hat. And what I'm really going to pay attention to is the vocal in the back and the phrasing. Sometimes I might delete some things, depending, because it's kind of not matching the phrasing. So let's just go ahead and mess around. So I didn't like how that one sounded. It kind of clashed with the vocal. And then a few with the snare as well. Little doubles and triples everywhere. There's a little space right there, so that one sounds good. And then here, let's do a few on a lower note. Bring the velocity down. Probably spread it out more. And everything's just kind of matching with the snare and the vocals. Let's see if we can get another one going right here. So this sounds good. Try another one. Probably just keep it like that. And then another note, bring the velocity down. Alright, so I got kick 6 from Versa. I'm going to lay down a pattern, keep it simple. One of my favorite patterns to do for these type of beats. So 2 hits in the beginning, and then 1 single later on. Right over here. Just a pattern I like to do for these beats, very common. See if we can add some more. That one's off. We gotta go in here and fix that. Let's move it over, change the snap. Add an open hi-hat, and let's go process it. Let's put some like delays, reverbs on it. See what we could do. So let's go ahead and put a quarter note delay. Have it bounce side to side. Sounds good. And now let's get some reverb on it. Really spread it out. Kind of gives it like some texture, which I really like doing for these beats. So I'm just messing around with these settings so I get them to sound good. So now let's start to get a bass line going. Remember we did the pluck earlier, so I kind of know what notes I want to play. Catch the kick right there. Now that we have that recorded in, let's drag these over. Alright, so I'm going to do a cut right here on the sample so I could drag it over and we can start to work on the intro. And this is the second part of the sample that I'm going to want to use for the intro. So let's make a pattern for that, and I'm going to copy over the notes from the other bass. This is going to be stab bass. doing like little doubles, and then we'll leave those notes the same. Those sound good. So this is gonna be like the intro, and we can use it for like, you know, a build up or anything later on in the beat we'll figure out. But for right now, it's for the intro. So let's get some percussion going. Have a pretty cool idea for this percussion part. Make my own percussion loop. So I'm gonna show you a couple of tricks of how I like to do this. Probably use like 3 to 4. Then after that, we'll process them. So I'm just trying to find the groove for it. Let's see, let's get one more. Probably have to pitch this one. Sounds better. Let's get a hi-hat. Just kind of doing a little bit of movement, right? Nothing crazy. Just keeping time. Let's loop this section. And then I'm going to put like a little riser in it. Kind of more of like a transition, and pitch it down. And now we can process them all together. So let's go in here, name it perks, and process them. So we're going to use some Comeback Kid, great delay. They hooked me up with an affiliate link. I'll leave it in the description if you guys are interested in checking that out. So let's mess around with this delay. Get a cool little tone going with it. Stick with me, it sounds crazy right now, but watch. Add in some EQ, some reverb, and finally, halftime. See, now it's nice and tucked. That sounds so crazy. It matches so well with that intro. And it's just tucked back, made a little percussion loop. So that's a cool way you could do it. It's one way I like to do it. Let's add a little bit of reverb to this plug bass. Just a little bit. Especially since it's in the intro, it's alright, it'll sound fine. Just want to give it more of a tail, a little less high end, tuck it back. So now let's get a little riser in here for a transition. Make sure it's on time. And then I want to actually duplicate this, pitch it down. I have a second part of that sample lower. Sounds really nice. Just makes it thicker, sound better. So let's link it to its own channel. Name it real quick so I know which one it is, so I'm not sitting here with 2 samples. And a little bit of EQ on it. Nothing crazy. Make it sound good, you know. Spread it out a little bit and tuck it back. That's all we're doing. Just add into that sample. Well, that sounds good. Let's duplicate this. Reverse it so it could drop down. Bring the pitch down. Ooh, sounds like a little wave. Alright, so let's start arranging a little bit. Let's see if we can get for a verse. Still using the sample. Sounding good. I'm gonna have to separate these drums though so we can really start to dive into it. See if we add in that second part. Maybe pitch it down. Sounds good. Pan it a tiny bit. That'll be nice. So now we can start to separate all these. And then we can really start to do some arrangement. So that's going to be the drop into the verse. Let's see what we could take out a little bit. Maybe the kick. Oh, that sounds good. That's a nice little transition. And it comes back in a little bit later. On with the vocal sounds good. It kind of leads in. So just build out the verse. Just going by ear, seeing what sounds good. Let's take out the hi-hats. just think of someone having to put a verse over this, right? It needs to have some space, some variation. This is what I like to do, just cut things, move around, see what I can get. This is sounding good for a verse. So I like this whole thing. Let's just drag it all over again. Go back into our low transition intro. And then we're gonna have that riser, which will be nice and just bring us right back into it. Sounds perfect. Boom, right back into the hook. So clean. I'm gonna have over like 100 trap soul videos by the end of next year, but if you guys did like this video, leave a thumbs up. You guys can follow me on all social medias at LifestyleDidIt. Make sure to hit my site lifestyledidit.com for everything else. Be on the lookout for the free guitar one-shot kit like I told you guys. Other than that, subscribe to your boy, push notifications. Thanks.